We will now go into our question and answer portion, and our first one to go up, it will be Mr. Mohammed Akaruzaman. Thank you, Mr. Akaruzaman. You have 3 questions that you can ask per candidate, and I would like the candidate to know you have 2 minutes to respond. There will be no rebuttal from Mr. Akaruzaman.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. I would like to ask Ms. Fatima Bell. You know, I never met you, but the last debate I met you, and I was like really impressed. You're very energized, and you want to do the right thing for the city of Patterson. And I think in future we need people like you. But just want to know, like, instead of running for a ward, you're running for a large. Do you think you made a right move?
Thank you for that question. I don't think that there was a good move or a bad move for me to be made. I don't think that there was a good move or a bad move made by me. What happened was I initially just was trying to learn the process. So I went around candidates who were running just to see how receptive they would be to me, asking them questions about the process. But in doing so, and I didn't meet every candidate, and in doing so, I didn't get the response that I was looking for as a young person who's trying to be a part of the process. And I hear everyone say that we need new ideas and we need new fresh blood and all of those things that they use. So I say, when I come along, you know, maybe I can be the candidate that they saying that they need. So after a while, you know, I didn't get anything from anyone personally, so I decided to run. And I decided to run because when I look at what's needed here is leadership. Leadership can be done by someone with no experience, because leadership is something that, you know, someone may just have. It doesn't have to take experience. I have integrity, I have character. I noticed that a lot of those things were missing just by me meeting some of the candidates. I feel like everyone should always embrace younger generation of people, because we are the future. And in doing so, you have to embrace us and teach us the things that you think that we need to make. If somebody would have said to me, Miss Fatima, this is not your time, but come with me, let me show you how this go, and you can learn from what I have going on here, and we can prepare you for a later run, that would have worked for me as well, but it didn't. So since I already was feeling what I was feeling, I decided to learn and run at the same time, which was the hardest thing to do. But, you know, we're about 12 days in, and I made it this far, so I'll just keep going, and whatever the outcome, I'll share the experience. Thank you.
Thank you. I have no question.
Thank you. You're finished, Mr. Akaruzaman?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Go tell her now. Ms. Bell? Our next candidate for questions and answer portion will be Ms. Fatima Bell.
Hello, everyone. Mr. Muhammad, this question is for you. Patterson is a diverse city. What specific ideas do you have to reach out to all the ethnic groups in the city as an at-large candidate?
Well, first thing, I don't look at it as a, you know, ethnicity, because I believe we all came from the same factory. It just sometimes we have a cultural differences. And once we pass the culture, we all are same. For example, if you go to the St. Joseph Hospital and you have a, you know, if you have a blood pressure, they don't ask you what, you know, what ethnicity you're from. So I believe we have to, you know, we have to love the city, and everyone who's living in the city is a one unison, one team, and we have to work together. That's
Thank you. That's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bell. Our next candidate up for question and answer portion would be Marissa Davila.
Good afternoon once again. I'm only going to ask one question, and this question is going to be for Mohammed Akhtaruzzaman. Mohammed, you were elected, and once you were not re-elected, you say that, you know, you've had that passion and that fire in the belly. I'd like to know, since you have not been re-elected, what have you been doing in the city of Patterson for the city of Patterson?
Well, first thing, do you believe that I lost that election?
He's asking me a question. I
She's
can't
not,
answer.
she's
No,
not
it's
to,
okay.
thank you.
In my heart, I still believe I won the election, but it was somehow, it was rigged. But anyway, I've been always for advocate for the community. I've been going to this school. If you can, you know, school 29, this has happened in like a year ago. They needed badly air condition. I spoke to the principal. We did the fundraising from the public, some from the business owner. So I'm always been involved in the school community, and I've been fighting for the youth.
Okay. Thank you.
That's it,
Yes.
Ms. Davila. Thank you, Ms. Davila. Okay. Thank you. For our next candidate at large, question and answer portion will be Mr. Aslan Gal Sr. Mr. Gal?
Thank you, Council President. I would just like to make a statement at this time. Earlier, I stated that I wasn't really interested in asking questions, but not for any specific reason other than the fact that I did serve 12 years here, and I have a very good understanding how city government works and how to understand and get around things that might arise that the average person wouldn't know. So, and I've learned this from my experience, that we have a pretty decent panel of folks this time. And even though there's 5 of us here today, there's still, what do you have, 8 more? 9 more? 9 more candidates. Everybody brings something different to the table. So I don't want to stand here and act like I'm smarter than them, because I'm sure I can ask them all questions that they would have no idea. And I'm not here to make anybody look foolish, but I'm wishing everybody the best. And I hope whatever the outcome of this event will be today, that somehow, some way, with 3 new people up there or 1 incumbent and maybe 2 new people, that we move the city forward once and for all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Gal. Our next candidate at large up for questions and answer portion would be Mr. Bernard Jones. Mr. Jones?
This question is for the candidate, Mrs. Bell. The question is, do you feel there's a waste in the city budget? And if so, please cite 2 specific areas where you would reduce funding.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Thank you, Mr. Jones, for that question. I looked over the budget briefly for the first time today in its entirety. And what I found is that I will request an audit of line item designated for department heads to see where necessary cuts could be made, as well as look at the contracts and the outside consultants that we have. A lot of the things here, being this is my first time looking at a budget at this amount of money, because I can budget, you know, on a daily basis or a bi-weekly basis, but this budget here, it's a lot different from what I know, but that's what I seen, the area that looks like I need to look at it a little more and see the necessary of it. Of those 2 specific things, if I had to name 2 things.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.